Welcome to US Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: Canadian doctor trapped in Gaza, volunteers at hospital, urges entry of medical aid. Take the Globe's business and investing news quiz. Hydrogen subsidy spree kicks off with $7 billion in federal grants. Horror legend John Carpenter tackles TV and the suburbs in his new project, Evil is in Bright Places. Deutsche Bank CEO says hard times ahead for commercial real estate. Canadian doctor trapped in Gaza, volunteers at hospital, urges entry of medical aid. The Toronto Star. Dr. Ehab Bader, a neonatologist from London, Ontario, is currently trapped in Gaza due to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. He is volunteering at Gaza's largest hospital, which is overwhelmed with patients in urgent need of medical care. Bader is calling on the international community, including Canada, to create a humanitarian corridor to allow food, water, and medicine to enter Gaza. Hospitals in Gaza are also facing a shortage of medical supplies and electricity, which is putting patients at risk. Bader is torn between leaving to ensure his own safety or staying to help those in need. Take the Globe's business and investing news quiz. The Globe and Mail. Hydrogen subsidy spree kicks off with $7 billion in federal grants. Wall Street Journal. The White House is set to announce $7 billion in grants for 7 regional hubs to produce clean hydrogen, as part of the Biden administration's climate and economic strategy. The funding will be awarded to regional hubs that include state and local partners, hydrogen suppliers, industrial buyers, and energy infrastructure companies. The grants are aimed at kickstarting the production of clean hydrogen in the U.S. and are part of a broader effort to shift away from fossil fuels. The funding is a key component of the administration's climate goals and will also help to make clean hydrogen production more competitive with hydrogen made from natural gas. Deutsche Bank CEO says hard times ahead for commercial real estate. Bloomberg. Deutsche Bank CEO Christian Sewing has warned that commercial real estate will face difficult times in the coming years due to higher interest rates and the trend of increased remote work following the COVID-19 pandemic. This comes as lenders face tough conditions and tighter credit conditions, with banks having to carefully assess whether to renew loans to risky clients or cut their exposure. Regulators are also scrutinizing commercial real estate loans, with concerns that lenders have set aside too little money for potential credit defaults. Deutsche Bank's investment banking division had around €19 billion, $22 billion, in commercial real estate loans outstanding at the end of Q2. Peter Doig, I'm looking at Gauguin's paintings, not trying to imagine what he got up to. Telegraph. Peter Doig, a celebrated contemporary painter, has discussed his career and personal life in a revealing interview with The Guardian. Doig, who has sold paintings for tens of millions of pounds, says he doesn't want to be famous and doesn't know how he feels about the high prices his works fetch. He is also skeptical about the current glut of figurative painting, telling the interviewer that nothing blows me away. Doig, who is Scottish but spent 2 decades living in Trinidad, has returned to the UK with his children following the death of his first wife. He reveals he has lost more than $4 million in legal fees after a man claimed to have bought a painting from him while serving time in a Canadian jail. Doig won the case, but has little chance of recovering his costs. It seems like I was totally taken advantage of, he said. New Democrats set to debate pact with Liberals as party conference begins. CBC. The New Democratic Party, NDP, in Canada will hold its first convention since signing a confidence and supply agreement with the governing Liberals. The NDP holds the balance of power in the House of Commons and supports the Liberal minority government in exchange for the advancement of NDP policy priorities. While polls indicate that the agreement has not affected the party's support, some members are concerned about its impact and will voice their opinions at the convention. Some members are calling for the end of the agreement and for the party to establish a stronger left-leaning identity. Get out of Gaza City now, Israel's military tells Palestinians. CBC. The Israeli military has issued evacuation orders for almost half of Gaza's population ahead of a feared ground offensive aimed at eradicating Hamas. The orders sent panic through civilians and aid workers who are already struggling under Israeli airstrikes and a blockade. Hamas dismissed the orders, calling on Palestinians to remain steadfast in your homes and to stand firm in the face of this disgusting psychological war waged by the occupation. The Israeli military has not yet confirmed a ground offensive but said it will operate with significant force in Gaza in the coming days and is calling on civilians to evacuate so it can strike Hamas militants. The UN considers it impossible for such a movement to take place without devastating humanitarian consequences and is appealing for any such order to be rescinded. A ground offensive in Gaza would likely bring even higher casualties on both sides. Hamas's assault last Saturday and smaller attacks since have killed more than 1,300 people in Israel, and the ensuing Israeli bombardment has killed more than 1,530 people in Gaza. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.